As the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln was and still is regarded as one of America's greatest heroes due to both his incredible impact on the nation and his unique appeal to the general public. He is a great symbol of American hope and patriotism, as he was forced to self-teach his skills that would lead him on the path he soon discovered. His expression of democracy and his persistence that the Union was worth saving symbolized the standards of independence that all nations strive to achieve. President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1836, as the country entered the third year of the Civil War. Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation primarily as a war measure. Perhaps its most significant immediate effect was that for the first time, it officially placed the U.S. government against the peculiar institution of slavery, thereby placing a barrier between the South and its recognition by European nations that had outlawed slavery. Although some of the United Kingdom saw the Emancipation Proclamation as overly limited and reckless, Lincoln's directive reinforced the shift of the international political mood against interference while the Union proceeded to become victorious. The careful planning of this document, with Lincoln releasing it at just the right moment in the war, ensured that it had a great positive impact on the Union efforts. The Emancipation Proclamation continues to be a symbol of equality and social justice. The Gettysburg Address, a speech delivered by Abraham Lincoln at the November 19, 1863, dedication of Soldiers' National Cemetery, a cemetery for Union soldiers killed at the Battle of Gettysburg during the American Civil War. He made this speech about preserving self-government rather than about any one battle. In it, he talked about the principles of human equality limited in the Declaration of Independence and associated the sacrifices of the Civil War with a desire for a new birth of freedom, as well as the all-important protection of the Union created in 1776. While Lincoln is often credited with creating the phrase the Gettysburg Address, it is now recognized as one of Lincoln's greatest speeches, as one of the most famous speeches in U.S. history. With firm conviction, Lincoln declared South Carolina's secession illegal and pledged to go to war to protect the federal Union in 1861. During the 4 years of the American Civil War, the President steered the North to victory and authorized the Emancipation Proclamation, which dealt a severe blow to the institution of slavery in the U.S. Lincoln was a thoughtful and soft-spoken man who used words sparingly but to great effect. As the war soon came to an end, Lincoln's main concern now was the reconciliation of the country. In his initial address, he described the war as a visitation from God and, mellowed and deepened by the trial, he pleaded for peace without hatred. His dedication to the upholding of peace between the countries provided to hold great value as to how he is one of the most honored presidents of American history. Lincoln had a compassionate leadership style in contrast to cruel and harsh inputs on situations. When there was a disagreement among advisors and him, his leadership style often involved him telling a story that demonstrated his point. Lots of times, this method worked, and people admired and respected him for it. Lincoln possesses qualities of kindness and compassion combined with wisdom, which in time gave him the nickname of Father Abraham. Perhaps the most important action Lincoln took was his decision to fight to preserve the Union. In the end, This decision to fight the Civil War resulted in the USA remaining one nation, rather than splitting into two separate countries. Although Lincoln was criticized for stepping over the traditional boundaries of executive power, he was faced with the greatest threat in the history of the country. We honor Abraham Lincoln for his actions in preserving the Union and beginning the process of freedom for slaves. Abraham Lincoln, a self-taught Illinois lawyer and legislator with a reputation as a persuasive opponent of slavery. Differing from expectations, Lincoln proved to be a perceptive military strategist and a confident leader during what became the biggest conflict ever fought on American soil. Abraham fought wars that were thought to be lost and stood for what he believed in, a true characteristic that many Americans show in today's society. His march for peace and equality still sparks to this very day, as we see new generations fighting for a better tomorrow. Over the years, Lincoln's status has only grown, and he is widely regarded as one of the greatest presidents in the nation's history.